Welcome to the Angel Empowerment Healing Show with your hosts, Cindy Smith and Sam Bell. Join them every week as they share powerful tools, advice, and angel messages that will empower you to own your wellness.
Welcome, everyone, to the Angel Empowerment Healing Podcast Show with myself, Cindy Smith.
And me, Sam Bell. And those of you who have been listening, you'll know that in our last episode, Cindy pulled a card. She actually pulled two cards. So this is the first of one of our special episodes. And we were guided to talk about hormone balance and vitality. And we have invited Deb Weinberger, who is one of our founding members, to help us with this subject today. Hey, Deb, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us.
So, Deb, you know, the card Hormone Balance Vitality is in my Inspired Change and Healing deck. And you're a very active angel empowerment healer and angel empowerment reader. And so can you first read the card so our listeners know what the card reads, and then give any information that comes up for you with this card?
Sure. So the card, which gets pulled a lot with clients, is Hormone Balance and Vitality. So Archangel Raphael is the archangel that's attached to this card. My child, hormone imbalance creates obstacles within the normal function of physical vitality. Imbalance of hormonal energy may create a flux in your emotional, physical, and mental state of being. The crystal attached to it is malachite, and malachite's message is, I am like a soldier fighting with resolve and honor. I work with the endocrine system at its foundation and rebuild in balance the strength and the vitality within the vast network of glands and hormones. So there's always an action step with the card. I ask for assistance from Archangel Raphael and Malachite to bring optimal function to the glands and organs within my endocrine system, creating a balanced state for my emotional, mental, and physical being. And there's always an affirmation. I accept healing in balance with ease and gentleness for my endocrine system now. I love that affirmation, and it's not even just for the endocrine system. It's just accepting healing in balance with ease and gentleness.
Yes, that is so important, and we know that balance is such a key word in all of the work that we do. It's interesting with that this card came up too, because as an angel empowerment healing practitioner, Deb, throughout the language that's been created either by Dr. Carl or Sam, throughout the language, that endocrine system language comes up a lot. Mm-hmm. And so when you're working with clients, you know, just share a little bit with our listeners around the endocrine system importance for you, and then we'll let our nurse Sam talk about the endocrine system also.
Well, and of course, as an angel empowerment healer, we work on all the systems. That it was designed as that, and the endocrine system is one that I know is very important because it covers so much. And the hormones that are created by all those glands are vital to our body. And if they are functioning incorrectly, too much, too little, it throws your whole body off, and at all levels. I treat a lot of clients that have thyroid disease, either hyper or hypo. I myself have thyroid. So I know the importance of having that balanced and creating the correct amount of hormones. Same with the pancreas. You know, I never thought as the pancreas as giving hormones, but it does. The helps balances our blood sugars. There are so many things that it controls in our body. And so if we're not getting a good balance, it throws us off. And it doesn't only throw us off physically. I have clients that's just like, I don't know why I'm such a basket case. I just feel all over the place and I just can't get it together. And often it is about the hormones. We talk about PMS and we talk about perimenopause and menopause, and those are all an influx of hormones that are unbalanced. And but it's even more than that. Sometimes we just feel off, and it's often about the balance of our hormones. So we get those in balance with the assistance of the language and Archangel Raphael, and of course, always working with the medical team as well. But it makes such a big difference in quality of life. It really does.
It definitely does. And I know, I've never looked at every language that we have in our manuals, but the endocrine system is got to be, Sam, at the top of at least mentioned once throughout almost every illness or diagnosis that we work with in the manual. So Sam, I know you're just chomping at the bit to talk about the endocrine system and the hormone balance, right? Go for it, Sam. We're waiting.
Well, so this is one of the things that our beautiful body does without us even saying, hey, you need to produce exactly this amount of thyroxine for my thyroid to function. It does it automatically. And sometimes, yes, we talk about it being out of whack, but there are so many different things that we can do within our lifestyle just to keep, everything in balance. I love that, Deb, you spoke there about, basket cases and being perihormonal, and perimenopause. And, I've been through that. And at the time, I remember looking at a piece of research. And this research was for Eastern Asian women who don't suffer the same symptoms that we women in the West do. In fact, their biggest complaint in menopause is the lack of menstruation, bleeding. And yet we're there sort of kicking off the covers and, thrashing around at night with our sweats and, and everything that goes with it. I think a lot of it comes down to our view of ourselves as a woman, right? If our society thinks of there being something wrong, with a woman who has gone through menopause and come through the other side, where in actual fact, in the East, that is when a woman becomes her best and most optimal self. We're talking about the crone and how she's revered and respected. So the reason I shared that is really just to sort of say that, a lot of it is to do with our emotional and our social attitude towards, being out of balance and worrying about being out of balance. Like I say, there's so much that we can do to get this endocrine system functioning optimally. And I loved as well that you mentioned the pancreas, Cindy, because, you don't think of the pancreas as being a gland. Glands produce and secrete hormones, and the pancreas actually creates a number of hormones and enzymes. Insulin, most people have heard of insulin, but then there's also the pancreatic enzymes that are released from the pancreas to help us with our digestion. Something we just take for granted. It's all part of that sympathetic nervous system, right? So, yeah, I love this card and I love the emphasis on balance. I could talk about the endocrine system for a long time, but I'm not going to do that. But I thank you for your insights, Deb. Really helpful for our listeners.
Mm-hmm. Well, and don't you find our mind is very powerful? Mm-hmm. So, we brought up menopause and we talk about the horrific hot flashes and all those things that happen with menopause. But here's the thing. Our mind is so powerful that we're expecting it. We're putting it out there. Instead of using a language that we are going to go through menopause with gentleness and ease, because it's possible. We don't have to have the hot flashes. Yes, there's physiological things that happen, but also our minds are very powerful. And so we are sometimes manifesting what we think it should look like, and it doesn't have to. So with the use of our language, our bodies are smart. They know what to do. So with the assistance of reminding it, asking Archangel Raphael to assist, working with a practitioner, we can go through it with gentleness and ease. I will never say we don't need medical assistance. Of course, we work hand in hand with the medical professionals, but it can be easy. It can be. And it's recognizing that and acknowledging it, that having those horrific hot flashes and mood swings and sleepless night is not a rite of passage. It can be easy. So I love working with women who are going through that process, because you're right. Sam, the way you say it, we're going from the mother to the crone. We have a lot of value in being the wise ones. We've been through it, and we are in our new season of life, and we can support those that are going to pass through it, and we can let them know it can be easy.
So I have to share. I don't even know what age I was. But I also, so for our listeners, it can be this simple. So Archangel Haniel is one of the archangels that works with cycles, because she's connected to the moon. And I was guided when I first had what I remember as a hot flash, and this is quite a while ago, because I think I started menopause quite early, but I wouldn't be able to tell you, because this is what I did. The very first, maybe one or two hot flashes that I was like, oh my gosh, this is what people have been talking about. Okay, I think I'm there. And then I said, Archangel Haniel, please stop the symptoms of menopause and allow me to go through menopause with ease and gentleness with my physical body and stop all symptoms. Boom, they were done. Like I can't make it up. It was done. So, and I can't even tell you if I had mood issues, because there is no significant. So listeners, this is honest to goodness. There is no significant, oh my gosh, Cindy was going through the menopause, because man, her moods were all over the place, because I never remembered that. What happened is then I went to Hawaii in the process of, after asking and stopping the hot flashes, never thought about anything to do with menopause. I was in Hawaii, and I connect with Pele, the goddess Pele, when I'm there, and I started to have hot flashes while I was in Hawaii. And I knew it was just me and my connection with goddess Pele and the volcano. And so I said, it's okay while I'm here, but when I return home, please stop all the hot flashes. And it did. They never, Haniel completely. So you reminded me, Deb, that the power of thought, it's just proof how amazing that power of thought does work. And then when you ask the assistance of divine, and listeners, please know this. Yes, in our world, the healer is Raphael, and that is who we are asking. Your main goal is to ask. And if you forget who to ask with, you just say, whatever archangel or creator, God, whatever you want to say, please stop this from happening. And boom. And I'm sure it's because of my strong belief system in the power of thought and my three minds. It worked. And that's why I'm kind of at awe, because I can't remember when. I do remember Hawaii was quite a few years ago, and I've never had the symptoms. And that's literally what all I did is, Hanuel, please stop all menopausal symptoms and allow my body to go through menopause the natural way, easily and effortlessly. So I know I'm on my soapbox, Sam, but I completely forgot of what I did when menopause hit.
Okay.
And thanks, Deb, for bringing that up, because we know, on our podcast, it's repetition for us to continue over and over to talk about the power of thought. Deb, a quick question for you, because we love when we have the practitioners and the founding members on with us. How easy do your clients respond to the understanding of the power of thought while they're receiving their healing with you?
Usually fairly well. They have a good, a lot of my clients are already partway there. I just am helping them go all the way. They all, I'm fortunate. I'm working with a lot of people who understand that thoughts are very powerful. And there is so much teachings out there about how powerful our minds are now compared to 10 years ago. So that really assists us in helping them understand what they're putting out there. And because the language, yes, there's some medical terms, but the language is really easy for a layperson like me, non-medical, to understand and realize, yes, there are some words I still struggle with pronunciation, but I know the angels know what I'm talking about, so that's okay. But they recognize that, yes, I'm telling my body what it needs to do. And so, yeah, they're pretty open to that.
Yeah. And, I'm going back to that piece of research, and that is it, that the culture for women in Eastern Asia, that their culture is all about celebrating a woman's journey, and that they come through the other side and are revered and respected for it, whereas we look at aging as being something negative. We don't see it as being something that is such a gift to us all, and that we should be in gratitude for it. And it's beautiful. There's a lot of pro-age groups out there now, and I love their language, empowering women and men to feel that they are reaching maturity and, and the best parts of their lives. But that power of thought can come from an individual. That power of thought can come from, a community, a society, a culture, so what we're doing is exactly what that society, that East Asian culture is doing, is we are empowering individuals, to have that, changing that mindset to becoming this, it's good, it's normal, not wanting to diminish the fact that there are endocrine imbalances out there caused by disease and can have some devastating symptoms for individuals, but again, with the angel empowerment healing, working hand in hand with Western medicine, we can help to shift that mindset and move it away from really focusing on those symptoms getting worse, and instead that they're getting better. And talking to the body at a cellular level, asking our endocrine system to optimally function, to promote what I love to call them chemical messengers for our body, in exactly the right amounts, exactly what we need. And throughout the language in angel empowerment healing, the endocrine system is mentioned, and balance as well. So yeah, it's powerful. It's very powerful.
So listeners, and please, to any of the men that are listening to our podcast too, there is different things that are happening with the men. It's just isn't the women that go through. I just got tongue-tied, but here's what I mean, is the fact that there is hormonal change for men as they age also. It's just that it isn't talked about as much because it's the change of the cycle for women. But men do go through change with their hormones as they age also. And it's very rarely talked about, right, Sam?
Yeah, it's not a big topic of conversation. And that makes me wonder, is that why men appear to move through menopause with more ease and gentleness than women? Maybe men have a more positive mindset. It's, yeah. Do you have any men that work with you, Deb?
A couple, not primarily women, but I do have a couple. And what's interesting is for instance, thyroid disease, a low underactive thyroid, it affects women in a larger number than men, but it does affect men too, and it does affect their whole system. And so many men, they don't realize what's happening, and so they don't even seek help. So so men are affected as well with hormone imbalance for sure. And
I think you said something so important there, Deb, is empowering our men to ask.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting there. But they're it's a generational thing. The younger generation for sure are more open to asking for help and assistance. They'll get there.
Yeah, my boy is wanting to go to a hockey game tonight, and he has a cold, and he's summoning in all of the help that he can, because by Jove, he's going to be there cheering for his team. I'm not going to say which team because we're in Calgary, and I don't want to upset anybody who might be up north, but I'm not going any further.
Okay. Deb, can you close by saying the affirmation for our listeners again, please?
Absolutely. I accept healing in balance with ease and gentleness for my endocrine system now.
Such a simple statement, but very, very impactful for our physical body and our emotional and mental, right? So beautiful affirmation for our listeners. And Sam, can you let our listeners know how they find Deb on our website?
Absolutely. Just go to angelempowermenthealing.com. You will look for the founders and Deb Weinberger. She is there. So www.angelempowermenthealing.com/founders.
And she is there. We love when our founding members join us on our calls. Thank you so much, Deb, for joining us. Any last words of wisdom
from me? Oh, well, just keep talking to your angels to assist you for every day, so that you're move through your day in balance with gentleness and ease. The most important thing is ask. And if you're having difficulty with something, reach out to a practitioner, because we can sure help.
Where can we find you directly? You have your own practice as an angel empowerment healer.
Yeah, and my website is www.onawinghealing.com. From there, you can either email me or book an appointment.
Beautiful. onawinghealing.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Deb.
Well, thanks for having me. I always love sharing the space with you ladies.
Yes, we do have fun. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye for now, everyone. Myself, Cindy Smith.
And me, Sam Bell. We'll see you next time on the Angel Empowerment Healing Show. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on the Angel Empowerment Healing Show. Your hosts, Cindy Smith and Sam Bell, will be back next week with more tools, advice, and angel messages to empower you to own your wellness. Visit our podcast page at www.angelempowermenthealing.com/podcast, where you will receive 3 healing meditations recorded as a thank you for being one of our listeners.